Hello again, I am Jim Bob, and welcome back to F1 Manager 24 Creating with Brabham Cadillac here on the PS5. Tonight, we are heading to Baku for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Round 17, so just 7 rounds to go in the Drivers' Championship. And it's looking like it's going to be Oscar's title after all, after a very unfortunate race at Monza for Antonelli. His home race did not go to plan, damaging his underfloor on the very first lap, and then suffering further damage and a forced retirement just 10 or so laps later. Very disappointing start to his run at Monza, but hopefully he can bounce back tonight, keep the driver's title alive. It is a 95-point gap at the moment. 7 races and still a couple of sprints to go as well. We have a sprint at Kota, then Brazil, and then Qatar as well. So there are still quite a lot of points available, but that is a big, big margin to try and overhaul. And despite the blistering start he's had to his career, I think that might just be a little bit too much for him. As far as the constructors' title goes, that is a question now of when we're going to complete that. We are currently 350 points clear of Red Bull. Williams just a further 8 points behind. That's a very tight battle for second, but there's no competition at all for us in the constructors this year. We have been absolutely romping away with this title, and even last night when only one of our cars finished, we still outscored every other team. So yeah, it's a done deal. It's just a question now as to which race that will actually be confirmed as us as constructors champions for the second season in a row. But before then, we have Baku. So let's take a quick look at our car situation. We have one of the new side pods, and in the interest of trying to keep the title alive, I am going to give that to Kimi, give him that little bit of extra speed and downforce. See if that can help boost him a little bit. We are waiting on new suspensions, and we are waiting on new chassis. I don't think I've even actually got going yet. Let's have a look. Oh no, the chassis are going. Side pods are going through. We are not going to get another part, I don't think. Maybe, let's see. No, we're 7 days away from the next side pod. So there will be no additional new parts going on the car this weekend. And then once those are done, as soon as the slot opens up, we have a front wing to build as well. That is not likely to get on the car now till Kota. I don't think we'll even have the chance to get it on before Singapore. We might not even get both cars on the same spec by Singapore. But we'll see what we can do. Let's take a look at how our drivers are feeling. Oscar's just signed a new contract, so he is happy in that respect, although he's now unhappy that his rookie teammate has been given a better car than him. It will only probably be for the one race, maybe 2 races, until we can get all of those new parts out. They see the stat difference. It has had a little bit of a negative impact, I think, to Antonelli, his retirement in the last race. But still, mighty stats. Only his adaptability is below 90. Everything else 90 or above. So that is really encouraging to see. Let's take a quick look at Antonelli's mentality. They see unhappy with his personal race retirement and his results at Monza. He's a little unhappy with his salary as well. That might make it easier to poach him when we go to Ferrari. We're not going to offer him a new contract because he's only signed one this season. He's currently on 6.2 mil. We're going to have to significantly up that if we do poach him at Ferrari. His marketability is up to 73 already as well, which is quite nice. And no termination clause in the contract, so we can just make him an offer, and if it's good enough, he'll accept it. Which is quite nice. How are we looking facility-wise? The factory is still ticking over quite nicely. The design center upgrade is now just over 2 months away. CFD Sim still needs that upgrade. The wind tunnel has now just been upgraded. Currently reduced slightly because we've got a wind tunnel hire on this month's or this 6-week period sponsor engagement. Also, we do need to get an upgrade on the suspension sim. That is now getting very close to wearing out a little bit. And the car park test center is fine at level 2. As for other facilities, we're at level 4 now on the team hub and the race sim. We will leave those at that level. That's good enough. And then everything here is nice. Another upgrade on the hospitality area would be nice, but not essential. As long as everything here is ticking over, that's the most important thing. And the weather center now just 6 days away, so we will get weather, more accurate weather forecasts for the next race onwards after Baku, which is good. How you doing, Wayne? How you doing, Patkins? Hello to everybody else lurking in the chat as well. Let's get our target set for tonight's race. Speaking of weather, let's have a look. Going to be hot. Going to be very hot. 32 degrees on race day. Very hot in practice. 33 degrees. A little bit cooler on the Saturday for qualifying, but still quite toasty. Track temperature's probably going to be quite high. Into the inbox just to get the email out the way. There we go. And so the target for Oscar is 9th. That's the highest it's been for a while, actually. And Kimi should potentially be even higher. No, it's still 16th, but his car is significantly better now, so that kind of works out. Baku, here we go.
Greetings from Azerbaijan, where we're back in the country's capital. Well, it's not every weekend that Formula One arrives at a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but arrive here we have. Drivers will race around the historic streets of Baku, which includes the race calendar's tightest corner, beneath a medieval fortress wall. Last round was a dream weekend for race winner Oscar Piastri, the Australian showing his mettle against the best of the best. Let's get this underway.
Evening, Adrian. All right, so let's give Christian a run in that car, and let's give the F3 champion Abby Pulling a run in the other car. We'll put medium tires on for these guys. We'll run for 22 laps of fuel. Should be enough. There we go. Let's swap out some parts. So we'll go with that engine for practice. Step back to that ERS. And step back to that gearbox. There we go. And let's get Abby's car sorted as well. Got the gearbox. There we go. And now we need to do the downforce for this track. So, also quite low, slightly higher than Monza because of the twisty turny stuff, but it's all low speed, so there's not a need for extremely high downforce through very fast high speed corners. It's mostly low speed, so we're looking around a 10 and a half on the rear wing. Gonna go with a 10 on this car. Put that front wing all the way down as well. Let's go with a 1.5. Again, we want to go quite far with the roll bar. We'll go with a 2.8. It's going to be probably a 2.8 or maybe a 3.7. Should be low to middle on the camber, and the toe I think is usually maxed out or close to being maxed out. So we'll go with that one for there, and we'll be a little bit more conservative on Christian's car. Again, we'll go with a 1.5 on the front, but we'll go with a 10.5 on the rear. We'll go with the 3.7. We'll bring that back just a little bit more, and we won't push that out quite as far. And let's send them out. So we've got some people running some damaged parts. Sainz, Gasly, and Iwasa all running slightly damaged engine components. If any of those go orange, they will be replaced in the next session.
That is loud and clear.
And Mansell's best lap, benefiting from some slipstreaming there. Gap between the two is pretty close. Tricky to see what their pace is against each other when they're constantly having to contend with other cars on the circuit in their racing orbit. Oh, there we go. That's a fault for Sainz.
A lot of clipping.
Okay, so that sounds like his battery pack's going to be replaced after this session. Evening, Dino.
How's the balance?
We've got an 86 starting setup for Christian. That's not too bad.
Understood.
And they're at 79% on their deployment run, or development run. That's not bad. Abby always seems to take a while giving feedback, but there we go, 96. So that car is already very close to optimal. And Iwasa now also with an escalation on his car.
It certainly looks like...
So once again, that will be replaced at the end of the session. Let's see what those parts are actually. So Iwasa, oh, we have a crash. It's his engine. It was Sainz's gearbox, wasn't it? Battery, sorry. Stoffels put it in the barrier.
And here we are at the final corner. Oh, and the car with a nasty
yeah,
crash into
that's
the barrier.
straight through
That's a tough one
the
to
barrier,
take for
straight
both
onto
driver
the
and
opposite
the car.
part of the track there. Van Dorn breaking not just his car, but the laws of physics as well. And there he is. And who else is it? Gasly. Let's see what's going on with Gasly's car. That's his gearbox. So at some point, I think that is likely to need to be replaced. We're at 100 on the development runs. That's excellent, so we can let our guys box and stay in the box now. Evening, Cloud. In comes Christian with
Okay, so remember pit lane speed limiter.
one of the McLarens behind him, and here comes Abby.
Box, stop your box.
All right, let's make some changes. So let's drop that back to 10. How far away? 86. Gonna need to do some tweaking. I think we'll just go with that. See how that works. Where are we with Abby's car? Close. I might dial the front wing back a touch. Do that. Might be a bit too much. No, we'll go with that. We'll see how that works. And that's it for this practice session. Any rookies running today? Behrman's in, Fujii's in, Stucker's in. That's it. So the rookie's getting a lot less running time this year in the other teams than we've seen in previous seasons. And of course, Ferrari don't have any rookies at all. Well, they do, but they're driving the main cars. Oh, Ricciardo's crashed.
And we're watching Daniel Ricciardo.
Coming out of the castle section.
Oh, that'll
Just
be a costly
understeers
crash
into the barrier.
as the car makes contact with the wall.
And that's some damage to his car. Let's not forget as well, Ricciardo has that 5-place or 3-place penalty to be added to his qualifying after his Monza incident, where he hit Perez and then tried to blame Perez after he torpedoed him. We're going to put extra fuel in the car. We're going to go for 25 laps because they've got a fair bit of running to do, potentially. Although with the cars nicely set already, maybe they won't need to do quite as much as I thought. Let's send them onto the track.
Sessions should be starting now.
Antonelli's car knowledge is going to be a little bit lower, running that new side pod. So he's down 15%. but that will only affect his overall setup by a quarter of that. So just under 4% overall. On his driver prep.
Now the Ferrari's
And that's
involved in this
another
one.
crash for Ferrari, another crash for Petit.
Watching the
Ooh,
Ferrari.
he's going to bankrupt the team again.
And makes contact with the wall.
Bang into the barrier.
That hasn't messed.
Money could be very tight next season. My biggest worry is I'm going to have absolutely no funds left after I sort the driver lineup out. And Ferrari are going to be expecting like a top 3 finish in the constructors and challenging for the world championship in the drivers. Car doesn't seem as bad as it, as some of the others out there, but it's still not great. And God knows what they're doing in terms of research for next season. Probably not much, and the research they are doing probably won't be very effective because I'm guessing all of their facilities are going to be in garbage condition. So, yeah, next season could be very painful. Very painful indeed.
Everything okay?
All right, have we improved Oscar's car a bit? It's up to 93, so we found about 9% on that one. What about Kimi? Did we get it right? And he needed to find 4%. Have we found it? No, we've gone the wrong way. What are we looking at overall? About 92% and maybe about 90%. No, less than that actually, probably about 88, 87% overall for Kimi. So yeah, they do need a fairly long run here, and they'll probably need a similar kind of length run in the next session just to be sure. Alright, so that needs to be a 2.8. Now we need to correct this back a bit. That should be it, I think, for Oscar. Okay, so we need to go back to a 1.5, maybe even go to a 2. That's our 96% setup. So let's go to a 2. Go there. And let's go there. See how we do with that in the next session. $94 and $89. Okay. So if we go for a 20-lap run for Kimi, probably get away with just 15 for Oscar. Maybe even less than that for Oscar. As soon as we get the feedback, that might be all we need. into the final practice session. A little bit cooler today. Medium tyres again. And out they go. Those extra 5 laps might not sound like a lot in terms of fuel weight, but on a circuit that's quite long, where it's normally like a minute 40 something, that's actually quite an extra bit of weight to carry, which is why he's now about half a second slower than Oscar.
Just say what you'd like on the balance.
Right, 94. So we're still not finding an improvement.
Copy that, okay.
And we're at 97 for Oscar. That's almost good enough. So we do need a few more laps with Oscar. And that should, I hope, be enough for Oscar. Need a little bit more for Kimi as well. Oh, it's close, isn't it? Not going to mess with the drive prep, because if we get it wrong, we might drop out of the 100% overall. So we will stay like that. Let's call Kimi in and see if that's enough. Yes, it is. Excellent stuff. And again, not going to mess, because we might drop out of the 100 overall prep if we get it wrong. What I will do, actually, is revert that back to the 96. Might as well. And I'll just do that. Which might be the change that we just made. I don't know. Let's see if it comes up with a known setup. I don't think it does. Yeah, that's not something we've tried yet. So hopefully that will do it. we are ready for quali. Just got to put the better engine bits back in.
Welcome everyone to qualifying. This should be a good one.
Drivers will have to be at the top of their game here in Baku, as mistakes can prove costly on a street circuit like this. But having tackled the twisting turns, the long main straight awaits, providing a fantastic opportunity for the slipstream.
Karun, there's Yuki Tsunoda. How would you describe things for him at the moment?
They must be feeling good after their fast lap times in practice. Confidence can do great things for a driver, so I'm excited to see how they handle qualifying.
What does today have in store? Only time will tell.
What indeed?